Right. For your games here with
Yeah, the review.
the review. And what are we playing today?
We are playing BetaEarth.
Beta Earth. Beta. All right. Yeah. So I haven't played in a while, but I see you got some different formatted cards. What are those about?
Yes, so it's gone through a couple iterations, mostly format wise. And so this was the second iteration of the format. Um, and so I've just rearranged sort of the look on the borders. So every card type now has it listed. Basically, the card type and traits are in this middle bar here. So you're to be able to easily just look at the card, know what type of card it is, and any kind of traits are just listed in this bar. So, for example, character unique, it's right in that little bar, is what I did with that format change. Um, and so also stat wise, just rearranged where they were. So their stamina or health is the red I put on here in the corner. Just rearrange some stats. Their intellect's up here on the left hand corner. So it's just rearranging where they're located on the card. All the information is still there. Just rearrange the look of it where it is on the card. So
Okay. And then
yeah,
intellect is going to be your blue value, but for you, it's going to be the green at the top left.
yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason I sort of parse that from all the other stats is because I realize that that card can only be used one way defensively, unlike the other ones that can be used offensively or defensively. So it kind of makes it easy to know that this top number, it's I can only defend with it. I can't attack with it. So it just makes it just easier, sort of visually, to go, okay, intellect, I can't swing with that upper left number. I can only defend with it. So
Makes sense.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So I guess we're ready to. I guess you want to run down the rules real quick.
yep. All right. So, and thank you so much for having me to be able to go run through this. So, first of all, note to anyone watching this, the artwork is definitely not final. That's still in process. These are sort of, again, playtesting going through. And so the artwork's not final. That is still being worked on for the final actual done deal release of this. So it's in the works. So the rule is very simple. You're going to have the system of 20 life or 20 health, 20 life. I'm sorry, you and your opponent, and it's going to be you going back and forth trying to take the other person out to zero first. Sound pretty familiar? That is, magic in a nutshell with that kind of basis. But other card games have done the same kind of idea. So it's just trying to take out your opponent. However, you're going to have a system of resources of at least a 50 card deck, which is here, I've got here. And then you're going to have a team of characters you're going to put together. You guys decide as players how you want that to be. It can be 200, 300, 100. You can go lower than 100, but the basic standard, if you're going to play a standard game, is 100 points. That's team building points, and that's going to be located on the right-hand side of the character name. And it's going to tell you how many points that character takes up of your team total. So, for example, I have a 3-person team. Together, they're, I think, 90 points, not quite the 100. You don't have to have an exactly of that whatever number you decide. It can just, that's the max. And the reason you might want to have less is because you can bring characters in during the game if you want, and things can change during the course of the game. So you're going to decide what you want for a starting lineup. So I've got this. You're also going to choose if you want a starting location. And the location you want to sort of, it's going to give abilities to both you and your opponent and yourself, but you're going to have a very unique thing that you can do for yourself to make it beneficial for you. But it will give a benefit to your opponent potentially. So you do have to be aware of that if you're going to use a location, just as a player in deck build. So you're going to set up your beginning lineup here, your location if you want one, and then you're going to go ahead and start with a hand of 7 cards. So I have a die here for my health, just right here for my 20 life. Each of the characters are going to be statted in different stats. at different levels, depending on the character. The 4 different stats that you can play with in combat are going to be intellect, fighting, strength, and energy manipulation. And those are going to have different, what we call combat triggers, which will fire off if you are victorious in a confrontation, whether defending or attacking, or counterattacking even as the defender. So, and that's what really makes combat different in this game. You're going to have a very distinct flavor depending on what you want to do in combat, depending on who comes out with what stats you use. So there's the card there. He's referencing that reference card that comes in the game. So we'll get to it. I think the best way to go through is just do as we play the game, explain it, and we'll just run through it. But again, it's going to be setup, getting your setup done. Also, setup effects. So look at your cards and see if there's any setup effects from either your location or your character cards. So I think Hapiro does have a starting effect. It says when he comes into play, which when you do in this startup at the beginning of the game, that counts. So look at Hapiro. I think he says you can search for a card.
Yeah, when played, you may search for one Monica or medical or mobile force field. Also, your played blackmail and corporate espionage cards are cycled.
Yep, and I'll explain cycle in a sec. So, in other words, Monica's already in play with your setup, so you aren't going to do that option. You're going to grab that equipment that it talks about, the mobile force field.
Man, now this the wording is showing up like so blurry, right?
Yeah, it's a little blurry, but we can explain it as we play the game if it's not coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I just got this webcam. It's definitely going back. I got 2 crappy webcams.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
What kind of webcam you got going?
This webcam, I got it from Amazon. I'm trying to remember what the model is. I don't know. It's a Nexigo.
Okay. And how much was that one?
I got it for like $100.
Okay. Show a card close up to the camera.
Sorry?
Show a card close up to the camera.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let me do that. Let's see if this will focus. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it should be focusing a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can read it. Yeah. Yeah, this one you can't even make it out. Plus, it has the bad black lines going through it. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think for a webcam you have to pay like $100 for a quality one?
Probably. I would probably do it. Probably, it's the one expense I was like, I'm going to do it this year because I just wanted to have a better webcam. So I'm thinking that I would probably say $100 if you want to get a good webcam.
Yeah, I would switch to my older one, but yeah, not mid video. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and look for a Monica or mobile force field. But there's not really Monicas in this deck. There's just mobile.
No, if you look on your starting characters, Monica's one of your starting characters.
Yeah. I mean, she's already out there. So
yeah, so you're going to grab the mobile force field. Yep. So a search keyword. It means you're going to search your deck, literally what it sounds like, and grab that card and add it to your hand. If it's done during the course of gameplay, it's going to just add part of your hand, and you can use it right away. If it's something that's searched for during setup, it's just going to be part of your starting hand. So you'll set that aside as part of your starting hand.
Right.
And I'm looking at mine. I'm just trying to remember if I have anything that's a setup. I do not actually. Yep, and none of mine things has a setup, so we're good. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead, and once you're set up, and also I need to clarify, for the game, you're going to have a discard pile. You're also going to have an in-play area. So all of this is my in-play area. And then you're going to have an out-of-play area, which is off to your left here. And it simulates simulates situations where people exist, equipment exists, things exist, but they're not in the same locale as the main events happening. And that represents just long distance, or if somebody's in another plane of existence, if they're not really there in the traditional sense, anything you can think of where they're there but not really there because of distance or etc. That simulates the out of play area. So examples would be Tess. She is, an AI entity being, for lack of a better word, and she'll be, controlling a host or hosting something, or controlling a host, I should say. So she'll be in the out of play area because she's not really there, her entity self, but where she's controlling will be in the main area. So you have the two sections: out of play, in play. And then the other concept is if a card's destroyed, that's just throw in the box. It's not in any play area. It's just going to be gone. You just toss it aside if it's destroyed.
Okay.
Then, so you're going to set that up, and we're going to get to combat as we go. So I think the best way to start is just jump in. We're going to go ahead and draw. Once you do the setup, you're going to draw your starting hand of 7 cards. If you had anything you searched for during setup, that counts towards your starting hand. So I'll draw 7. I think you draw 6 because you have that one card you searched for. All right. The other change between the two formats was locations. I did change the locations to being the same orientation as the main cards. That was the other thing too. I apologize.
Okay.
So, all right.
Why'd you do that?
Sorry.
And why did you do that?
Oh, why did I do that? Just spacing wise, it just made it a cleaner kind of like organization. I think just in general.
Okay.
That's why I went with that. I might still revert if on the final copy, once I get the art taken care of, I might revert back to the way I did on locations. But I've just found that there's a lot of things people can put on the board in the game, and it's just kind of awkward spacing if you have one horizontal and everything else, vertical. So, all right. So you're gonna get your starting hand, and then we're ready to decide who goes first. So it's random. Determine whoever goes first. So if you want to go first, or I can go first, it's up to you. And then we'll just walk through as we go for the first couple turns.
I'll let you go ahead and go first.
Okay. So what you're going to do is every turn, if you look at the, let's go through the play phases. So the game will come with 3 different cards that'll be reminders on what you can or can't do. Sort of walk through player turn phases. So this will tell you again what you're doing on your turn. So the first phase is the discard and draw step. So this is done simultaneously by all players on every player turn. So no, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. The cleanup is simultaneous. Sorry. So what you're going to do is on your turn, you can discard any number of cards. So out of the 7 you have, any number of them. And it's so you think of it as every turn you have a mulligan. Literally, that's what it is. So I'm going to keep all my cards though, so I'm not going to mulligan anything. Then I'm not going to discard anything. After you do the discard, you can draw up to your current hand size. Your current hand size is defined as your standard hand size, which is 7, unless you have a card that says otherwise, plus any modifiers. There are cards that may up your hand size. So you will draw up to your current hand size. So mine is 7. I didn't discard, so I'm done with that phase. So once you're done with the discard and draw, you go to the main phase. So the main phase is where all the main action happens. And this is going to be, you can do any number of actions in any order except for fighting. That is the last thing you do in the main phase. Battling will be done at the last. So you can play 1 event, 1 equipment, 1 character, and 1 ally. However, you can play as many interrupts as you want, as long as there's a keyword called limited, and there's a unique keyword as well. That will limit, even on interrupts, how many you can play or have in play in a turn. But other than that keyword, it's a general rule: interrupts as many as you want in your turn. So I'm going to look at my hand, and equipment can be attached to characters. I'm sorry, equipment normally can't be attached to allies, but they can be attached to characters, unless the card says otherwise. So I am going to go ahead, and to start, I am going to play. Actually, there's nothing but interrupts except for one equipment in my hand. So this will be a quick play. Actually, no, I do have an ally. I'm sorry. So I'm going to play a serviceman. There's an ally. So she gives me an ability. I'm not going to use it right now. I'm just playing cards. So I'm going to play an ally, a serviceman. She's at 2 attack, 2 defense, 2 health. And she has an effect where I can exhaust her to do something once per turn. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just playing right now. So there's my one ally for the turn. I'm going to play full service, a full auto rifle. And this has the keyword limit 2. So that means that you can only play and or have in play a max of 2 copies of that named card. So I will put the full auto rifle. Let's do it on Riker. And so I will attach that to him. And that's going to have game effects moving forward. And I think that is it. Yeah, I didn't have much card play this turn. All right, now the rule is if you're taking the first turn in the game, you cannot attack on that turn. So it's a way to balance the game because there's a lot of card play you can do in a single turn. So that's one of the updates I made. So I was starting player. I could just play cards. I can't battle on my first turn. So I played my cards. Any game effects? Let's see if I want to play anything. Okay, now and this does say once per turn for the council chambers, the location I have. Once per turn, a player may discard 1 card to search for 1 council member. So when it says you can discard a card, that general game effect means you discard a card from your hand, not from in play, unless the card says discard from play. So discard a card. I am going to discard Scramble the Airwaves to do the game effect of council chambers. So I'm going to search for a council member. I found one. It's going to go to my hand, and I will reshuffle my draw deck. Okay. So that goes to my hand. All right. And then, let's see. Trying to see if anything allows me to play more than one ally in a turn. Yeah, actually, I'm going to play another card that allows me to do that. So I'm going to play Rallying Call. It's an interrupt. That will allow me to play as many allies as I want in a turn, or you can up all your allies by +1 for combat for the rest of the turn. Since I can't fight, I'm just going to do the other option, which is, again, as many allies as I want to play this turn. So I'm going to play the council member that I just grabbed. So I will play that ally as well. Now I have 3 cards left in my hand. And I think I am done. There's no other game effects I'm going to use. Yep, I am done. So that is all my main phase. So there's playing cards, again, one of each one. Now also there's something you can do is transferring. So if I wanted to, I could also move for free. There's no cost to the action. You can do as many times as you want. I could transfer something. So I could transfer this rifle to another character. I'm not going to do that. I like it where it is. The other action you do is sacrifice. So let's say I have only, like here I have 10 points on the board that I have free for team total. Let's say I want to bring out a character that's 20 points cost. Then I could go ahead, as one of my actions during my main phase, I could say, let's get rid of Susan, who's 15. That clears out another 15 to the 10. I now have 25 points open. Then I can go ahead and play my one character card for the turn. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So that's another action is you can sacrifice a card. A character card. I should be specific. Okay. But I didn't. So I've done everything. I've played cards. Played interrupts that I wanted to play. Played my one equipment for the turn, and my normally one ally. But again, I played an interrupt that broke the rule, so I played 2, but normally one ally per turn. And I didn't have anything else I want to play. So we're going to go ahead, and I can't fight the first turn, so I'm skipping that. So now we go to cleanup phase. Now this will affect all players. every turn. So all players are going to discard all knocked out cards and then remove damage from cards that are not knocked out. So damage. I'm sorry, is not perpetual in this game. Damage will only last for the turn, and then anyone who's not knocked out will be healed. Is basically the idea of the game. So nothing to heal. Also, then the next step is you're going to go ahead and again, I'm just following this little cheat card. It helps you see what to do. But I'm going to discard all that. Discard excess allies. So you have a limit of 4 in a given out at any time. Limit of 4. That's the normal. So you can still play more any given turn to have more out. But at the end of your turn, if you have more than 4, you have to discard down to 4 from play. If you have more allies. And then once you discard, then you're going to ready all of your exhausted cards. So again, this is for both players, every player turn. Both players are going to do this. So all the players, again, will discard knocked out, heal the non-knocked out, discard excess allies, and then they're going to go ahead and ready exhausted cards. And then it goes to past initiative phase. You're then going to go ahead and draw a card. So you draw 1 card. So I'll draw my 1 card. And the drawing the 1 card is not both players. That is the only thing that's simultaneous is the cleanup phase for both players. So when it goes to the past initiative, it's the current player who draws a card. So I drew my card, and then that's it for my turn. I pass the initiative. I'm going to pass it to you. So now it goes to you. Yep. Okay. Let me make sure I got everything. Okay. Cool. Oh, I'm sorry. Really quick, I forgot to ask. What was your locations text? I forgot to ask if it had anything I could do during your turn.
Yeah, look, my Hippo Monica, and Enforcers are combat +1. Also, once per turn, any player may discard 1 card from hand to search for 1 Enforcer.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any Enforcers in my deck, so I wouldn't use that. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'll discard a corporate espionage in order to search for 1 Enforcer.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, webcam sucks. All right. So for an Enforcer. Enforcer. Ally type. Ally, right?
Yep.
Yep. Shuffle it up. 2. And why'd you go with just the regular color allies?
Oh, the reason being is I just I figure I wanted sort of the border itself being universal, but to offset that, I did have with the new format, every card type is listed in the bar in the middle, so you'll never know what the card type. You'll never have to wonder what the card type is because it spells it out in the bar in the middle. So, yeah, it lists the card type now.
Okay. Oh yeah, my corporate espionage cards are cycled.
Yep. So we'll introduce this. So cycled means instead of discarded after it's played or wherever the reference is for the card, instead of being discarded, it's put under the bottom of your draw deck. So it will come back into play sooner.
Mhm. While Felix is in play, you must play open-handed. However,
Oh,
your card draw at end of turn is +1.
yep. So actually, since Felix is part of your build, you're actually going to be open-handed while he's in play. But again, you can always sacrifice a character at any time during your turn as an action, so it's never a permanent drawback. Plus, you do get a bonus for that. You do get an extra card draw at the end of the turn. So instead of one, it's 2 cards you draw with him. Plus, he's got pretty decent stats for intellect. He's a pretty brainy guy.
All right, I'll play the mobile force field on Monica, which equipped character is defense +1, and any damage taken is reduced by 1, limit 2.
Cool. So she's a little bit tougher now. Dang it.
Um, mm, yeah, we'll go. Um, yeah, man, you got no zoom feature on your webcam naturally, of course not.
Yeah. I could manually move the arm, so I'm try to do that. But it'll be a little bit scrunched, but
Yeah,
probably
the way
make.
the Streamlabs is, it's just hard to see.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
you got to zoom on the computer though. But I wonder if that'll mess up the view for the playback. But let's see though. Oh, not even letting me do it actually.
Okay.
Yeah, not even letting me do it.
Gotcha. Can you see my screen better though?
Yeah. Do you? I mean, do you think you'll put anything out of play though?
Um, I do have some interrupts, so I might do something depending on what you do.
Okay. All right. So whenever you choose a fight, you just choose one against somebody else's that's the same. All right.
Yeah, so you're basically going to choose when it gets to combat. You're going to resolve each combat one at a time from start to finish, but you can do multiple combats in a turn, as long as, again, you don't want a time resolved and at the end of the turn. But you're going to select whether you're going to attack a target specifically or you're going to go for the opponent directly. If you do the opponent directly, I can block with whoever I'm going to choose. Um, if you go for someone directly, then they will be the target unless I throw somebody in front.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what are your stats on all?
Alrighty, so they're not very big stats. So she is a 5 intellect, so she can at least defend, fairly decent, but not huge. And then she's got a fight for 1, a strength of 2, 3 health. Susan has a 4 intellect, 3 fight, 2 strength, 4 health. Riker, my third guy, he's got a 4 intellect, 5 fight, 4 strength, 4 health. And then my allies are the DQ ones. They're 1-1-1 for the council member. The serviceman is a 2-2-2, meaning a 2 attack, 2 defense, 2 health. so I didn't explain this really quick. Unlike the characters, allies just have more basic stats because they're meant more for their game effect and cannon fodder versus actually adding to something for combat. They can still, to some effect, do that because they have stats, but they're just sort of more for the game effect. Is what I sort of designed them for.
Okay. Right. Yeah. What effects do those allies have?
Alrighty, so serviceman is a once per turn, so I'd have to do it on my turn, so they can't do anything right now. There's nothing that's being affected with the serviceman. The council member, though, I can exhaust them to reduce the damage dealt to a character by 1. So I can exhaust them to reduce the damage that a character would take by 1. So I can do that during your turn as a react. Let's see here. Oh, I did need to say really quick here, Mundala is in effect, so you do need to discard a card to initiate a battle, since that's her game effect. So she makes it harder to initiate combat.
Okay.
And then, so that's her effect, Mundala. She also, my council members don't count against my ally limit, but that's not immediate to the case right now. You're talking about combat, so I won't worry about that. So for combat effects, since that's what you're looking at doing, again, discard a card to initiate combat. That's what Mundala does. Susan is that allies she control attributes +1. So actually, I'm sorry, since Susan's in here, the allies are +1 to my attributes. So the serviceman's a 3/3/3, and the council member's a 2/2/2.
All right. Yeah, I think I'll swing on Susan with Felix for a fighting skill fight. And Moondala's effect is what? Just discard 1 to fight?
Yep. Discard a card to fight. Yeah.
All right, discard that one. All right, so Felix has a 1 fighting skill strength.
Okay. So let's do the combat. So what you're going to do, you're swinging at Susan. So now at this point, I got to decide if I want to let her take it. And let's see what she says here. Oh, the other fact is when Susan would take any amount of damage, you may have any of your allies take that damage instead. So actually, Susan is protected as long as she's got allies in play for damage wise. So you actually wouldn't want to target her in the first place. Probably not, because she'll just say, "I'll take it," and someone else will be killed from it. That's an ally.
Well, yeah, I mean, we pretty much, the allies take it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's go for Moondala.
Alrighty. So Mundala, if you're attacking her instead of somebody else, it's actually 2 cards. So it'd be 2 cards if you're targeting her versus anybody else.
Discard 2 cards?
Yeah, for Mundala. So if you're going after Mundala, she's a little more expensive versus anybody else. So 2 cards if you're attacking Mundala.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. All right, so going after Mundala. So I've got to figure out. So go ahead and exhaust your main attacker. So you see that
Felix. Yeah.
you did. Okay, all right. Now, as the attacker, first thing you're going to do is you're going to decide what attribute you're using to attack and what attribute you use to defend. Because you will defend as the attacker because you're going to have a counterattack thrown at you. So you decide what attribute you'll use for attack and what attribute you use for defend.
Now you use fighting skill and intellect for defense.
Fighting skill can be for attack.
Fighting
oh wait, you're telling me what you're using. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you'd want to do is basically mark it somehow. So I've got 2 sets here, so I can do this. So I'll put here as a reminder that you're using strength for the attack and the token here for defense. Let me move this down a little bit so that we can see this. Okay. So, where was it? Oh, Mundadala. That's right. Okay. So I put the 2 tokens here. So there's your attack is strength. Your defense is the intellect. So I've got the red and the blue there. So that's you. Now I got to decide if I'm going to let Mundala get involved in the combat or not. I think okay, I think I'm going to let Riker, he's the combat man anyway. I'll let Riker actually block for her. So I'm going to exhaust Riker to throw him in front. So Riker is now the one that's defending. So I, as the defender, I decide again. I declare what he's going to attack and defend, and what he's going to counterattack. I'm sorry, and defend with, because he's the defender. So he's going to counterattack with fighting. So I will put a red on me, and he's going to defend with strength. So he's going to counterattack with fighting, and he's going to defend with strength. So that is what I'm going to do. Now, since we've decided that, we declared that, it goes back to you as the attacker, and you can decide to add someone to the combat if you want. So right now, my counterattack is only 4, so it's not hitting your defense, because I think his intellect is 6, right?
4 intellect.
Oh, it's 4 intellect. I'm sorry. So it's a tie right now then. I'm sorry. So it's tied. He's not beating your intellect. Your attack is a 2, you said, right? It's a 2 fighting you're attacking with, right?
Okay, and you're defending with.
So
you're defending with
a 4.
And the 4 is what? The 4
strength.
is what attribute? Strength?
Yeah.
Okay, now what is that H about?
It's the health.
Okay, so you've removed energy manipulation?
No, energy manipulation is just different area on the card. So characters, let me bring this up here. So if a character has energy manipulation, it's going to be in this box here. So there's no energy manipulation that he's using. He doesn't have energy manipulation, in other words. So I changed it because I just realized that not everyone's going to have energy manipulation. That's a pretty specific kind of skill. Not everyone can go throwing energy blasts from their hand. I don't care how talented you are. So Riker doesn't have that option. He doesn't have energy manipulation. But if they do have it, it'll be right there.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I like that adjustment.
It made more sense to me. I was like, some characters have it, some don't. It makes more sense to me. So basically, Riker, he's a great military guy, but he's not an energy builder. He's not going to throw an energy bolt at you or telekinetically do anything to you.
Okay. Okay. So just trying to wrap my head around all this again. Okay, so there's no energy manipulation. So okay, FSH. Okay.
No, if you have a character who has energy manipulation, you can do it. It's again, there's this change I made for some of the characters. We're just gonna, if you have it on your cards, just go with it, because again, we're just simulating the combat and the basic gameplay here. So don't worry about it. So,
all right. So basically, right now I'm swinging 1 in your defending with which value?
The strength 4.
Okay. Now the strength. I mean, now is that a black pebble right there? Is that a black bead or what is that?
No, I'm going with the colors you have on your card to make it simpler for you. So these colors are matching what you've got on your cards. So, but it's strength is 4. So that's why I put a green here. So he's defending with his strength, but it's a 4.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yep. And I'm defending with my intellect, right?
Yep. That's why I put there.
Yeah, it's just kind of hard to distinguish the blue from the green, but I guess there's a way to do. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna interrupt latent abilities. Target character's printed attribute of 2 or less becomes a 6 for the remainder of the turn. Man, this webcam's horrible. Yeah, so I'll do a 6 on the fight instead of a 1.
Gotcha. All right. And so actually the other thing is I would bring dice here just sort of keep track of things. So if you have a die 20 or something, or any kind of a die, it makes it keeping track of things easier. So what I'm doing here for Riker, or just for the combat total, right now it's just Riker because he's the only participant in defending. So I'm going to use one die for my counterattack. So he's got a 4 on the counterattack. So I'm going to just match that with my bead there. And then his defense is, no, sorry, it's a 5. Sorry. His fighting is a 5. So I'm putting a 5 here. So it's easier to track. And then his defense is a 4. So that way I'm keeping track of the numbers as we go. So that way you don't ever have to ask what number are we at because it's all right there. So 5 is his attack, his counterattack. I'm sorry, he's 5. His defense is 4. He's counterattacking with strength. He's defending. He's counterattacking with fighting. I misspoke, and he is defending with strength. So for you, I'm going to use some dice as well, so that I keep track of this. So your attack, you said, is you raise something to a 6, right? So you're attacking with 6 fighting now. So I will put that die there. So you got 6 fighting coming at me. And then we got your defense is 4 with intellect right now. So I will put a 4 there. Okay. So I'm keeping track of all the numbers here. So we don't have to worry about that. All right. So you upped his fighting to a 6 for the rest of the turn. So I changed that to a 6 for his 6 fight. All right. Now it's still in it's still part of your ability to go ahead and add another person still because you haven't passed yet. So did you want to add anyone else to the fight for, again, adding an attacker? So far so far you're doing damage. So far you've got 2 damage on Riker, and I'm doing 1 damage to you on the counterattack. So that's where we are right now. So it's up to you if you want to add anybody to the mix. Oh, you added Hipiro? I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay. So what now, as adding Hipiro, you got to decide again what attributes are you going to add. So what attribute is he using for attacking and what attribute is he going to use for defense?
So I'm going fighting for attacking.
All right. So he's doing fighting for the attacking. What is his fighting stat?
4.
Okay. So now your total attack on the offense is 10. And then what is your total defense?
And then for the defense stat, I'll use the intellect. You can do that, right?
Yep, correct. Yep.
All right, so intellect is 8.
12.
Well, actually, with my location, my hippo roll, Monica and enforcers are +1 combat, so that'll be 5 on the fighting stat.
Yep. Oh, so 5. Okay, so you're 11 total on the attack. Gotcha. And then your defense is actually going to be 13 right now. Because 12, the 4 plus 8 plus 1. So it's a 13. Yeah, you're 13 defense. Okay. So that's what you got so far. Actually, I forgot that I also have a boost from my council chambers here. Mandela, Susan, and council members are combat +1. Oh, not for Riker. Riker doesn't have that, so I did not. Yep. So it's just his stats right now. Play. All right. So you're definitely outdoing me on stats. So I'm going to add a serviceman here. So I'm going to add a serviceman to the fight. and he's going to add here. Now, Riker does have a bonus that says servicemen are attributes +2. And the council chambers gives, nope, never mind. Only gives combat +1 to council members. It's just Riker is boosting, sorry. So Riker is giving the servicemen +2 to their attributes. And then, and Susan's giving a +1 to them. So they are actually a 5/5. So the servicemen are going to add, I'm going to add 5 to here, so it's 10 on the counterattack to you. So 10 on the counterattack and 9 on my defense. Still not enough. You still got more. But I'm trying to lessen the pain as much as possible. Okay, so it goes back to you. And now you get to decide, again, if you want to add somebody or not, or play other cards or whatever.
Yeah, let's throw Monica in there. She's got a 7 fighting strength and will defend with her intellect, which is 4. And actually, that'll be 8 because the Enforcer Standing Grounds makes Monica +1 combat.
All right. So give me what you added to the numbers again one more time.
So there's 8 fighting strength and
okay,
4 defense.
Okay. So that's 19 on your total offense and your 4 to the 4. All right. So that means you've got 17 defense and 19 attack. What stats was she using? She was using, was she doing intellect for the defense and fighting for the attack as well?
Yep, everybody's doing that.
Okay, gotcha. Alrighty, that goes back to me. Okay. Well, all right. Gotta see what my full service rifle does here because it's something that could go off during any combat. Oh, he's attack +2 with the service rifle. I didn't realize that. So he's actually got a 12 for his. So the total is 12 on the counterattack so far. I did not read that. I apologize. And then also it says, oh, okay. Gotcha. Alrighty, and then the full service rifle will also do 1 damage to all opposing enemies, so characters and allies in play before damage is resolved. So think of it as just an area effect kind of thing that kicks off. But that will be resolved after we pick our total people, that are all the people involved. If I throw somebody in, this could be bad. Okay, I'm going to pass because I'm afraid to see what you do. So, okay. So I'm passing. I don't think you have a way to overcome what you've got. You've just got bigger numbers than me. So there's not a way to do anything, but that's fine. This game is designed to just be fun, fast, and fun. So, all right. I think you got it. So, I'm going to pass. Goes back to you, and you get to add another person if you want, or you can pass or play other cards or whatever.
I thought if you bowed out, I wouldn't get to add another one.
No, if it's both players passing consecutively, then it stops the combat.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'll exhaust the Enforcer to redirect all damage from any one source to this Enforcer. So I guess whatever damage comes in, the Enforcer can soak it up?
Yep.
Okay.
Although I'm not doing any damage because I'm not breaking your defensive value right now. Literally.
So my defensive value now is what? 6, 4, 8, 16?
Yes. Okay, your 16. Defense. Yeah, your defense is 17 on intellect right now.
Okay. All right, so I guess no need to then.
Yep.
But you're dealing 12 counterattack, right?
Yeah, but it has to break your defense.
Okay.
That's why you defend as the attacker, because your defense as the attacker defends against my counterattack as the defender. So So since we both passed consecutively, we're going to go ahead and go to resolving the damage now. So now we compare values. So my counterattack versus your defense. Mine's a 12 versus your 17. I will take off my counterattack off the board because it didn't do anything. Because I did not break your defense. And I'll take your defense off. No, actually, I'll keep your defense because I'll take the number off, but I'll keep the intellect reminder. And there's a reason for that. So now we look at your attack versus my defense. It's 19. It's versus 9. So that difference is 10. So now you get to divvy up 10 damage amongst all the characters that were involved in combat, both character and ally, sorry, amongst all combatants is the term. So he's got 4 health. He's got 5 health, the serviceman. So technically you can take both of them out because together their health is 9.
Okay, do I get the trample damage, the 1 to the player?
No. So the only time the damage is going to hit the player is if it's an unblocked attack or if there's a breakthrough effect, which you didn't have any of that with your characters. So,
yeah, I guess I'll go both of them.
All righty. So that means that they just stay here. Now we're gonna. So now you get to kick off a. You get to kick off a effect, a combat trigger, since we resolved damage, or resolved the who won what and did the damage. So they're both 0, my guys. None of yours guys were touched. But now you can fire off one of these combat triggers, intellect or the fighting skill, and it's going to be equal to the difference. So if you do the fighting skill, then that's going to knock any one character to have minus equal to the difference on their stats until the end of the next turn. But they're both 0 health, so I probably wouldn't go with that one because it's not going to make a difference. They're going to die. Anyway, so I'd probably do the intellect is what I'd recommend. But you technically can do either choice because both of those were successful on both the defense and it was successful on your attack as well because both beat my defense and my counterattack. Does that make sense?
And you're saying, okay, so I can fighting skill, but say it again.
Okay, so since you won, so the way to determine if a combat ability goes off is if you were successful in that defense, in that attack, or that counterattack. I, as a defender, was not successful in either the defense or the counterattack, so I don't have the ability to fire off a combat trigger. You, however, were successful in both defense and attack. So you have a choice to fire off one combat trigger this turn, this combat, and since both were effective, you can do either the intellect, since that's what you selected for the defense, or you can select the fighting combat trigger, since the fighting was what you went with for the successful attack. Are you with me so far?
Yep, and why would I not want to go with the fighting?
Because the effect of the combat trigger is a participant involved in the combat will be minus X combat for the until the beginning of your next turn. Sorry, till the end of your next turn. I'm sorry. Let me look that up really quick. I forgot what's beginning or next. But here we go. Combat triggers. So, target character or ally is combat minus X until the end of your next turn, where X is equal to the difference. It does have to be someone who is involved in the combat. So that means that you can do it on either one. However, like I said, you just reduce their health to 0 on both of them. Now, it is true that there may be a card I could play that restores health at this point. You don't know if I have that in my hand, and as a competitive game, I wouldn't tell you. But since we're just sort of walking through the game, I will tell you I don't have that. I don't have any healing right now that I could play. So if you know your opponent doesn't have healing, it doesn't make a difference because they're going to be discarded at the end of the turn. So the minusing their combat will not do anything because they're going to be dead. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. So again, though, if you're playing a fully competitive game where we weren't walking through anything, then you might want to put on somebody because I might heal them to get them, back into health so that they heal at the cleanup phase if I give them so much life, which there are some cards that do that. So it is a possibility. But I'm telling you right now, since we're playing sort of a friendly walkthrough game, I don't have a way to heal them. So I'm recommending to you to go with the other route because it's going to be effective versus this that won't do anything in this scenario.
Yeah, let's go minus intellect.
All right. So since you're in the intellect, you're going to walk this off and we're going to resolve your intellect combat trigger. So if the intellect combat trigger says that opponent discards X cards from their hand and or the top of your draw deck, of their draw deck, I'm sorry, equal to the difference, it has to come from the hand first. So the difference was I had a 12, your defense was 17. So that is a difference of 5. So that means I've got to discard 5 cards in my hand. I only have 4. So this is going to be discarded. And I have to lose another card from the top of my deck. So I lose the top card of my deck. So this is discarded as well. So we have now resolved combat triggers because I had none I could fire off. You fired off yours. So before we get to the cleanup step, I need to resolve my full auto rifle because that, again, did have an effect that goes off even though he died. And that's 1 damage to all opposing characters that were involved. Actually, this says this is period to all in play, period. So the full auto rifle is going to go off before he dies, and he'll do 1 damage to all opposing characters. So that means all your characters would take 1 damage. If you have 2 health, it doesn't matter. They'll survive. Do you have any character that has 1 health?
Everybody has 4, 4, and 3.
Okay, so my auto rifle won't affect you then. It won't do anything. Yeah. All right, so we're good. So we are done with that combat. So now it's going to go to another action. If you had more characters that were unexhausted or allies that were unexhausted, you could do another attack. But I'm thinking you've exhausted everyone, right? No, actually, no, I'm sorry. You do have an ally you can attack with. You do have the trooper, the enforcer.
But this is only a 3. But and it can penetrate your. Well, I mean, it could get Mundala, but she's probably got a buff, right?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I do have some people unexhausted, so I probably wouldn't attack with her. With him. Never mind.
All right. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll pass.
Okay. So now that we resolved the combat, we passed. So now we're going to go ahead and go to the cleanup phase. So at this point, first thing we do is Ino's KO'd is gone. So both of my characters go. So I'm going to end up losing Riker and the rifle that was on him. And then I will lose the serviceman. And that's it. So I have discarded everyone that I lost. So anyone who was not KO'd will be restored to full health now if they took any damage. Then you're going to go ahead and exhaust all exhausted cards. Both of us do that. So go ahead and ready all your cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then take off all dice.
Yep.
Modifiers, yeah.
Yep. That is correct.
Okay.
Cool. All right, sweet. And then you are going to now, now we finish the cleanup phase. Oh, if you have excess allies, I don't think you only have 1 ally, right? So I don't think you have excess allies.
Just the 1 ally.
Yeah, so you're good. So that completes the cleanup phase. Now you're going to do the pass the initiative phase. So you're going to go ahead and draw 1 card. No, 2 actually, because you do have Felix out. So draw 2 cards.
Okay.
And then you just say pass initiative. That lets me know it's my turn now.
Pass initiative.
All right, cool. All right, so I have no cards in my hand, so I will not discard any and draw up to my hand size. So I'll draw 7 cards. All right, so go 7. I go up. All right, so I am going to. Do I have anything that I can play that's going to be of any effect right now? Okay. So, all right. All right, I'm going to play another rallying call. Sorry, I'm going to play another rallying call. And again, I can play as many allies as I want this turn, or give all my allies +1 to combat for the rest of the turn. I'm going to do the first option. So I'm going to play a second and a third council member. So I'm going to get some council members up because I kind of need it. All right. All right, then I have reconnected. Oh, sorry, that's discarded because I played that already. Okay. Oh, and then I'm going to, actually, before I play reconnected, I'm going to discard a card to do my council chambers ability. And I'm going to grab a council member, search for council member. And since I can play unlimited allies this turn, I will play another council member. All right. Hopefully this little board build that I'm doing is going to help. We'll see. All right. So there is my, I'm just going to start double stacking them like this so that I don't run out of room. Okay. So there's my 2 council members. And then, do I want to do reconnected? I got to see what's in my discard pile. It can be a reconnected, allows you to grab a non-character or non-ally card. So, can't grab those guys. Actually, I don't think there's anything I want to grab. Well, actually, I will. I'm going to play reconnected. This allows you to grab a non-ally, non-character card from your discard pile or out of play and put it into your hand, and then this card goes out of play. So I'm going to grab Rallying Call.
Now that wouldn't be the second event type card per turn, was it?
No, these are all interrupts. Every card I've played has been interrupt except for the council members. So,
Oh, you can play unlimited interrupts per turn.
yes. So events are limited to one per turn, just like the characters, equipment, allies. But interrupts are as many as you want in a turn. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to play a second Rallying Call, and I'm going to do the second option this time. And it's going to be +1 to all my allies for the rest of the turn. +1 combat until the end of the turn.
Now, interrupts don't count as events. They're not a subtype of event, are they?
No, they're a different card type.
Okay.
Yeah, they share the same. They shared the same border color in the first printing there before I reformatted everything to actually spell out the card type in the bar. But they have different card types. So you have interrupts and you have events. Right. Yep. So now I've got to determine. All right, you've got 3 guys there. No, you've got 4 guys. Dang. Actually, I'm not going to play that yet. I just realized I'm not going to play that yet because there's no point because I don't have the means to get through your blockade right now. So I'm going to keep reconnected in my hand, actually. Never mind. And then I'm going to just pass. End turn. I have nothing to ready or damage or heal. I'm just going to let you take your turn. I'm done. There's nothing I can do right now.
Let's see. Discard and draw.
Make sure.
Yeah, I won't discard any and draw.
Alrighty.
Draw at end of turn.
Well, no, the drawing at the end of the turn is that draw one card. When
The
you
plus.
do the discard and draw, you get to discard and draw immediately up to your hand size at the beginning of the turn.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll play semi-auto pistol. Equipped is +2 attack and counter attack, and may discard one card to apply damage inflicted against an opponent twice.
Ooh, so it makes small damage become lethal. That's cool.
And there's an equipment limit or no?
No, you can have as many equipment as you want on somebody.
All right, I'll put semi-auto pistol on Monica.
Oh boy.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll swing with Felix on Felix's 2 strength. And those council members are fives, or what are they?
No, the council member, it was the servicemen that were 5/5s. The council members are 2/2s.
Okay. Moon Dollar says I have to discard a card to swing.
Yeah. Oh, when last turn were you discarding card for each? No, you were all adding to one combat. Sorry, never mind. Yeah. So to initiate combat, you have to discard a card with her. Yes.
Okay. I'll get rid of timely intervention. So yeah, swinging two strength, 2 strength on uh 2 strength on let's go on Moondala.
Okay. So if you're attacking Mundala, it's 2 cards instead of 1 to discard to initiate the combat.
Like whenever I target Moondala, I got to discard a card.
If you're attacking her, you can target her with card effects if there's different card effects, but to attack her, yeah, you got to discard 2.
Yeah, let's go Susan then.
Okay. All right. So you said the. Oh wait, I've got to decide if I'm going to throw somebody in front. Okay, but you. So first, actually, before you decide stats, you're going to tell me. I got to decide if you're going to throw somebody in front. Okay. So you're going after Susan. I'm going to exhaust and throw a council member in front. So I will just move her back temporarily so that it's a little clearer what's going on. Okay. So I'm going to exhaust, throw the council member in front. So now you're going to select what your attack and defense stats are. So you said it was a strength for the attack, right?
Yep.
Okay. So
and defense will be the intellect, so that'll be 4.
Okay, gotcha. Intellect to defend. Okay, and then the 4. Now, the one thing so that combat triggers don't get overpowering, if the only people involved in combat is a player or just allies, then you are not able to trigger combat abilities. It has to be characters involved in the fight to actually be able to trigger combat abilities.
Well, I mean, like one character is the Felix, so combat triggers do get involved since Felix is involved.
No, I meant to say, I'm sorry. The target has to have a character involved too. That's what I meant to say.
Okay.
Sorry. If one side has just allies or one side is just the opponent in a combat, then you don't trigger combat abilities. So actually, I will keep these here because if I throw Mundala in, it would have a possibility. Let me move these down further. I'm sorry. There we go. But as of the moment right now, the combat trigger would not occur because it's just my council member that I've thrown in front. And I'm just going to pass because I don't have. That's the best thing I can do to try and survive. I don't. If I lose Susan or Mundala, I'm screwed. So I'm just going to leave my council member in front and in combat, and that's it. So I'm not going to add anyone to the combat. And so he's defending with the 2/2. He has attack and defense only, so he doesn't, by default, he doesn't do combat abilities anyway, because he just has attack and defense. So he's never ever going to trigger a combat trigger ever, because he's just got attack and defense, no actual attributes.
Okay. All right. So right now, I would, if it just ended now, I would kill the council member unscathed.
Yes, correct. Mm-hmm.
All right. So.
Oh no! Actually, no. The council member's defense is 2. Your attack is 2. Your defense is 4. So right now you're not taking him out. You would need more attack.
And his health is 2, right?
Yes. So you would need a total of 3 attack. No. Yes, his health is 2 as well because Mundala does say. I mean, Susan does say all their attributes, which health is an attribute. So it is. He's at 2/2/2. So 2 health. Yeah. So you would need to get defense is 2. So you would need a 6 attack. No, a 4 attack. I'm sorry. You would need 4 attack to get past the 2 defense and do 2 damage.
Now, why wouldn't my 2 attack kill the 2 defense of the council member?
Because he's defending with 2. Defense subtracts from your attack. So defense subtracts from your attack. So his defense is 2. Your attack is 2 right now. So 2 minus 2 is 0. You're doing 0 damage to the council member right now.
Okay. And yeah, I'll go ahead and latent abilities to target character's printed attribute of 2 or less becomes 6 for the remainder of the turn.
Gotcha. All right. So you're going up his attack to 6, I'm assuming, right?
Yep.
Okay. That works. So he goes up to 6 on the attack. Alrighty. So I did pass on adding anyone to the combat, so it's still on your end. So at this point, you could very easily just say pass, and it would end the combat.
I'll pass it.
Okay. So that's going to end the combat. So since, again, one side had only allies and or the player involved, which was my side, it does stop any kind of combat triggers from that combat going off. So I'll remove these, but you still take him out. So he still has a 0 health. So I'll remove these, and he has a 0 health. So I'm going to show that there's 2 damage on him. So I'm going to throw that there to show that he's got 2 damage. So he is KO'd. But we don't remove until, like I said, till we get to the cleanup phase. So you did 1 combat. So now you're free to do another combat if you want.
Okay. I will swing on. And Mundala has 3 health, right?
Yes, 3 health, and she's got she can defend with either a 5, 1, or a 2, but she has 3 health, yes.
And Susan can defend with a 1, a 4, 3, or 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for Susan.
Okay, so again, you're initiating combat, right? So you need to discard another card because of Mundala's effect.
Okay. Right there. And this will be a Yeah, swinging. Yeah, just swinging at Susan.
Alrighty. So I am going to. I'm going to throw another council member in front. So I'm going to block with another council member. I'll move this aside since they're already dead. Okay. So I'm going to block Susan's attack with the council member. And it's the same thing. They're just a 2-2. Nothing impressive. That's their attack defense 2-2. And what was Susan's? I'm sorry, Monica's attack, right? Was the one you said it was attacking, right?
7 for fighting.
Okay,
And +2 is 9.
gotcha. So 9 fighting for the attack. And what was her defense that you were using?
Let's make sure it's just 9 though.
Yeah, okay.
Counterattack. Make this card 1 card to the play. Yeah, I guess intellect for 4.
Alrighty. Intellect for 4 for the defense. Okay, gotcha. Okay, got it. Alrighty, so it's now going to.
Well, I guess equipped character is defense +1, and any
Oh yeah.
damage reduced by 1, so I guess 5.
So well, the defense is +1, yeah, 5, and then I'm going to reduce any damage you take by 1. Well, that's on there as well. So 5 defense. Let me up that to 5. Okay, so you got 5 defense and 9 attack so far going into the council member. Alrighty. And so it goes back to me. I am going to pass.
I'll go ahead and pass.
Okay. All right. So same scenario as before. So I'll remove the combat trigger markers because again, it's just an ally and or here, just allies and or player involved in the targets here.
Because once both players have passed, then that signifies what kind of window is closing. You can still play.
You can still play applicable interrupts that would affect things. You can still play those. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and divert. Hold on. All right. Yeah, divert. So shift target of attack or game effect to new target of your choice. Both targets must be controlled by the same player. So I'll go at. Okay, so I can actually Mundala. What are Mundala stats?
Let's see. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. That needs to be a react to when you initiate combat itself. You can't do it after the combat's been resolved. That would need to be like that is meant to be a reaction card. So that's meant to be like when the combat starts, you say no, you're going to attack somebody else. That's when that's meant to be. So I didn't clarify it on that card. I apologize. So that's meant to be like okay. So let's say you're attacking. I've got an ally and a character, and you want to attack the certain character, and I don't want you to deal with that character. It's meant to do it. It's meant to be a initial response to an effect targeting somebody. That's what it's meant for. So I apologize. I wasn't clear on that. So that would have been done at the beginning of combat. So when I said I'm going to block with a council member, then at that time you would have played that as saying no, that it's going to go back to my original target. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like have you write it that one?
Sorry.
I mean, have you eroded that one yet?
Oh, I haven't did the errata clarification on that. I am going to do that. So I apologize. I didn't realize that that was not clear on the card. I apologize.
Okay.
So I am going to get that clarified. Yes, I'm going to update that.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I would have definitely put it on Susan or Mundala. So, but I could always do it on the next attack, though.
Yeah, you can still throw on the next attack.
Yeah.
That's
All right. Yeah. So I guess I won't do any more adjustments.
okay. All right. So then that resolve difference is enough. So I will put 2 damage on the council person to show that they are dead. I'm going to put the little dead stack on the side here. There we go. All right. Those are KO'd people as of right now. Alrighty.
All right. Let's go 4 on
Oh,
2.
actually, one sec. I'm going to do one interrupt really quick on your turn.
Okay.
I'm going to play Reconnected now. I'm going to play that to grab Rallying Call from my discard pile. This is going to go out of play because that's what it says do on the card. Put that over there. And then I'm going to play this before you initiate any more attacks. And I'm going to give my ally, all my allies +1 to their attributes for the rest of the turn. And then I'm going to play another card, Scramble the Airwaves, which will knock out the text of your location for the rest of the turn.
Okay.
But that's it. So you can keep going with your turn. I just had to play those 2 cards to try and mitigate what's going to happen to me. Trying to make me survive a little bit longer. So keep going. You're good to go.
So the council members are 2 2s or 3 3s now.
So there are 3 3s now.
All right, I'll swing Hipero 4 on a, and you got how many in hand?
I've got 1 card in hand.
Okay. Go 4 on uh 4 on Susan.
Alrighty. So 4 on Susan. Alrighty, I'm going to throw council member in front to try and block. Now would be a time to play the divert. Because then it'd be like, no, we're going after Susan still.
Yeah, I'll go on Susan.
Alrighty. So I still exhausted the council member, as you noticed. So that was also a good play because that means that they're exhausted for this combat for no good reason. So that's good. Okay. So going after Susan. Alrighty. So she's going to be involved. Boy. Okay. So, and who was attacking? It was Hippiro's attacking, right?
Yep.
Okay. So what are you attacking with?
4 fight.
Okay. And your attack value on her? I mean, against her?
Yeah, 4 fight there.
Alrighty. So 4 attack. And then your defense, I'm assuming, is the intellect, because that's this really big stat.
You know what?
Oh, you're going to change it up? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I'll go the 1 energy manipulation stat.
Alrighty.
And then I'll go for a reconnected. And yeah, I think I needed to. Did I need to discard a card to engage in a fight?
Yes, you did need to do that. Yep.
All right, I'll do that. Don't think I already did that, did I?
No, you didn't.
Okay, yeah. All right, so place one out of play to move one non-character, non-ally card from your discard or out of play to hand.
Yep.
So I'll go latent abilities again.
Oh, wow.
And then I'll go
Alrighty.
to go 6 energy manipulation.
Alrighty. That's a good move. Alrighty. Oh, I got to declare what I was defending with. I would be defending with my intellect since that's the best thing. So she would have defended with the 4 intellect and did a counterattack with 3 fighting. All right. All right. So far, I'm going to move these down. It's a little bit easier to see the comparison of stats. Okay. Alrighty. So now I got to decide if I'm going to add somebody to the situation. But I think I'm going to risk it because so far your attack is 4 and her defense is 4. So you're not taking her out so far, but definitely you're going to have that energy manipulation that will do direct damage to me if you go with that combat trigger. Oh boy. I'm going to. Oh, shoot. This is so hard. Oh, I forgot. Council Chambers does give Susan attribute bonuses for combat. Sorry, not attribute bonuses, but combat bonuses. So she's actually She's actually counterattacking with a 4, and she's actually defending with a 5. Actually,
Yeah, my
okay.
buffs are going for this turn, right?
Sorry.
My location is wiped out for this turn, right?
Yeah, just for the turn. Yeah, correct. When this is all over, you get it back. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to decide if I want to throw Mundala in. I'm afraid for what you have. Actually, no. I think I am going to pass. I think I will pass.
Yeah, go ahead and throw the enforcer in there to add 3 fight.
Alrighty. Goes to 7. So 7 fight and 3 to defense, right?
Now that's 6 and 3. That's 9, right?
Yep. Okay. Ooh, you're playing a risky game. Okay. Now, since you did throw someone in, I can add someone now because we didn't both pass yet. But I think I'm going to hold my ground still. Oh, but your energy manipulation is going to do direct damage to me. Wow. I'm still going to risk it. I'm going to pass again. I will pass.
Okay. And then I'm tapped out, so I'll pass.
Okay. So since you passed, we compare numbers. So that means that my counterattack versus your defense doesn't do anything. And then your attack versus my defense is successful. And your defense against my counterattack is successful. So nothing that I do would fire off a combat trigger. You, however, have the option doing a fighting skill or an energy manipulation combat trigger.
Minus X combat to the end of your next turn.
So the difference with the fighting skill is 2. So that would make her -2 to combat till the end of your next turn. Or you can do 5 direct damage to me with the energy manipulation since you successfully defended with that. And the difference was 5.
Okay. Yeah, let's go minus X combat.
Alrighty. So okay, so she was the only one that was involved in combat, basically. So she's -2 to the end of your next turn. Okay, so I'm going to put the -2 on her. Alrighty, so we resolved that. Alrighty, so we resolved that.
Now, does she survive though?
Yeah. So the damage you did, it was 7 and her defense was 5. The difference was 2. So she went from she took 2 damage and she has 4 health. So she has 2 health left. So she would survive.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Actually, I do have a react I can do with the council member. Oh, no, never mind. Never mind. Nope, I don't. Okay. All right. So we did that. So now it goes back to you being able to do another combat if you had a way to do that. So.
All right. I didn't follow up with this, but when Monica attacked, she was able to let's go one thing to apply damage inflicted against an opponent twice. But
Oh.
that's only just direct damage, or what is that?
No, she has a pistol. So actually, that would knock her to 4. So that would knock her to 4 damage. That would take her out normally. However, I will react with the council member that's untapped.
No. But I didn't attack with Monica. That was a while ago against a council member.
Oh, okay. It's whenever she's attacking, so that's either whether she initiates it or she's involved in the combat as an attacker. So it's either scenario.
Yeah, no, I think I took out a council member anyway. So
Yeah, you took her out anyway. I remember. Yeah, you're right.
okay.
But if she was involved in the attack versus Susan in this instance, then the example of what would have happened is you would have doubled the damage going from 2 to 4.
Good. Gotcha. All right. Well, yeah, I guess that just results in the -2 on her
Yeah.
attack. Right?
Yeah. If I were you, I personally would have done, since the name of the game is to drop the player health to 20 as soon as at first, then I would have done the 5 direct damage to me with the energy manipulation combat trigger, because that would drop me from 20 to 15. But
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of Susan right now.
oh, you'd rather get rid of her. I see what you're saying. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. All right. So, did you have any more combat, or are you going to go to
That's
the
it.
cleanup phase?
Clean up. All right.
Okay. So, discard all knocked out characters. More ready everything, and discard excess allies. And we both do this during your turn. So, she heals up, but she has the -2 still to the end of your next turn. And these guys who were killed go bye-bye. So I need to discard 2 of my 4 council members because they did die. All right. So that was that. Okay, cool. So that was cleanup and then pass the initiative. So go ahead and draw 2 and pass it to me. Cool. Alrighty. So I only have 1 card in my hand, so I'm going to draw up to 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Where was this the whole time? All right. So I do have an event. I'm going to play my first event of the game, Deal with the Devil. And this says once per turn, I can discard the top card of my draw deck, to either draw 2 cards or give a target character or ally combat +1 till the end of the turn, or I can gain 2 life. So I can discard 2 cards to do one of those 3 effects. So I'm going to put that into play, deal with the devil, my 1 event for the turn. And then I'm going to play satellite grid from my equipment. This says plays on the table unequipped, so it doesn't go attached to anyone, just goes on the table. So I'm going to do that for my equipment. Okay. All right, I'm going to discard a bulletproof vest to search for a council member. All right, and then I am going to play the council member. So there's my ally, my equipment, enemy of my event for the turn. Then all right, I'm going to use the satellite grid. I can exhaust it to look through opponent's draw deck and discard any 1 character or ally. So basically, if you have another good character in there or an ally, let me see what she got. Let's discard your other hip hero. Let's get rid of him. All right. Okay. Alrighty. And then let's see. All right. And then I'm going to play Broken Blade. I'm going to have you discard the. What equipment do you have? No, it's going to be one of your equipments you have in play.
Semi-auto pistol and mobile force field.
Let's get rid of the mobile force field. All right, play that. And then I will play rank upon rank. Target ally is combat +1 for each copy of the ally you control. So I'm going to give this council member +3/+3 until the end of the turn, because there are 3 copies of the council members that I control. So I'm going to get a little +3/+3 reminder of the effect for their rank upon rank. And then last but not least, I'm going to play Lockdown. And Lockdown says no cards may be played by either player for the remainder of the turn. So now we both are unable to play cards for the rest of the turn. It's a way to sort of keep the field the way you want for the rest of the turn. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swing with the council member, who is a 3/3, but actually, technically, I'll put this to a +4/+4, because there's also +1 from Susan on the attributes. So I'm going to swing with the council member.
Okay. I'll block with. And who are you swinging at?
I'm swinging at you, the player directly.
What else? Yeah, I'll take.
Alrighty. Cool. So that was 5 damage you took, right?
Yep, down to 15.
Okay. And then I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to end my turn. So, I mean, we're going to do the cleanup phase, I meant to say. So we're going to end the main phase. So go ahead and exhaust anyone that ready anything that was exhausted. Discard excess allies and clear off damage and discard chaos, which nothing much happened. So it's your turn.
Okay. Draw the
Oh yeah,
six.
whoops. I forgot to draw my card at the end of the turn. I apologize. Keep going.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Play out an enforcer.
Cool.
And excess allies is more than 4, right?
Yeah, correct.
I'll play a high-tech heist.
Cool.
Once per turn, you may discard 2 cards to look at the top 6 cards of opponent's deck. Put 1 into hand. Put in the hand 1 equipment. Return the rest. So put in to my hand 1 equipment from your deck.
Yep.
Yeah, hard to do over the screen.
Well, I'll if there is one, I'll just put it in front of me to show that you have it, and you can just tell me where you're putting it if you play it. If not, you just keep it in your hand.
You've got how many in hand?
I've got 2 cards in hand, but you look at the draw deck is what that does. So I've got plenty of cards in the draw deck, but I've got 2 cards in my hand. You discard 2 cards from your hand to initiate the heist.
Yeah. I won't do it now.
Okay.
But I'll do a corporate espionage.
Oh, fun. Okay. What does that do again?
So opponent must immediately cycle their hand, reshuffle, and draw the same number of cards. Then I choose 1 card from the new hand to be discarded.
Yep. All right. So I cycled. My 2 new cards are these. Sorry. So you can see it. I apologize. So there's another serviceman and a divert.
Yeah, we'll discard the serviceman.
Okay. Serviceman, go bye-bye.
Okay. And then divert, that is change the target, right? Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty. Oh man. We're gonna have to. I didn't realize what time it is. My wife was planning on me to cook dinner, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Good game, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and finish your turn. We'll just finish your turn, and then we'll call it good. So do what you want to do.
Okay. Get rid of a. Get rid of those scramble the airwaves and a. Oh yeah, I get to cycle this espionage.
Yep.
Yeah, get rid of these 2, and then the blackmail also gets cycled, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets cycled. All right, and then I'll mill you for no. I'll look at your top 6.
Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So here are the 6 cards. You have hunted. It's an event, so not a valid target. Reconnected. It's got to be an equipment card if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Cries of the Innocent is an interrupt. It's not it. Serviceman is not. That's not. Oh, but Satellite Grid, the one I used last turn,
Right.
is.
Yeah, I'll take the Satellite Grid. And then I mean, you know what? Just get rid of yours. I'll get mine out of my trash, I guess.
Okay, that works.
Once per turn, you may exhaust to look through opponent's draw deck and discard anyone. So I guess I'll discard any character you may have.
Alrighty. I actually don't have a character. I just have allies in my draw deck.
Yeah, let's get rid of a council member, I suppose.
Alrighty.
You have 6 in the deck, right?
Yep.
There's 6 max per deck or no max per deck?
There's no max per deck. You can have as many as you want in your deck.
And how many council members do you have left?
Let's see. I have. Oh, that might have been the last one. I've got one more in my draw deck.
Gotcha. All right. And you've got no equipment besides satellite.
Yep.
You got one card in hand, huh?
Yep. Just one.
And that is divert. So
yep.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and corporate espionage again.
All right. That's way to get rid of. And I only got one card in my hand, medical attention. So this is the healing card I was mentioning earlier in the game. That if you have a 0 health person, you can play this after everyone resolves assigning damage to get someone back from the dead before you go to the cleanup phase. So nice. Medical attention's gone.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and swing with Felix. Yeah, we'll swing with an enforcer for 4 on Susan.
All right. I'll just take it, so I'll let her be the target. Did you discard a card to initiate combat?
Ooh. Get rid of Broken Blade. Okay.
Alrighty.
Then I can add to the fight, right?
Yep.
Okay. Go with another enforcer for 4 more on Susan. Yeah.
All right. So it's a total of 8 attacks so far and 8 defense from the 2 enforcers. Is that right?
4 defense with the enforcers.
Yeah, and you have 2 enforcers you're throwing, right?
Yep.
So that's a total of 8 attack, 8 defense so far, right?
I think they're only 2 defense each.
Oh, yep. That's right. Sorry. So it's a 6 defense, 8 attack so far. Is that right?
4 defense, 8 attack. Yeah.
Oh, 4 defense, 8 attack. Okay. Didn't they have a +1 to their attributes?
Just to combat, I believe.
Yeah, which is attack and defense.
Oh, all right. So yeah, so that's 3. So that's 6 defense.
Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't affect their health because it's not plus to attributes, but it does affect attack and defense and counterattack since it's combat. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna pass again.
And then so that's my 8 on your
Ford. Yep.
That would be effectively enough to wipe out Susan, right?
Yep, that is correct.
And then if I pass, then that's all she wrote for Susan, right?
Yes. I could do one other thing, but since we're just going to play out your last turn as semantically as awesome as possible, I won't do it. But she does have text that says if she would take any damage, I can throw it onto an ally once per turn. But we're going to go ahead and let that just happen because I want to see it your turn end with something cool. So I'm not going to do her effect. So yes, she's gone. We will say that she is 0 health now. So let me put the 4. There we go. All right. She's got 4 damage, so she's got 0 health. There we go. Oh, and this technically is here until the end of your next turn, so I'll keep that there. Okay. So she is 0 health. You have knocked her out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and swing with Felix on. Well, I mean, that's all I wanted to do was get rid of Susan. So
Alrighty.
yeah, like I guess I'll let you go ahead and prepare that dinner.
Okay. No, that's really cool, man. So
Oh yeah.
she went bye bye. I had two character casualties in the game. That's good, man. Cool. All right, man. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This is a great chance to go ahead and sort of showcase the game. So, like I said, I am working on getting the art thing taken care of so I can get a final, actual, like, let's sell and play this mass market done. Not mass market, but you know what I mean? Out for actual, like, final copy sell.
Public production.
So,
All right, but yeah, they've added a lot more context to it playing with the genre, so that's way better.
yeah, I'm glad. So, did I help clear up any questions you had?
Yeah, that was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot better. I would like to. Yeah, still got to wrap your head around it, but
Yeah. No, I
is
go ahead. Sorry.
you would say like overpower is anything like this or more spycraft?
I would say I think I dabbled a lot in different things together, but I'd say probably I would say Overpower is closer than Spycraft to this, because actually it's hard to say. I don't know. I think it's more like Overpower in the general sense because you're not trying to complete missions. It's more of take the other person out, which is what Overpower is about. Spycraft is more about getting those mission points and trying to beat missions. So I think it's closer to closer to Overpower.
Okay. Yeah, I've still yet to play that one, so
Yeah, not a problem. All right. Well, thank you again. So yeah, I'm glad I helped clear things up, but thank you so much. And yeah, I would love to actually play this again, help again make you more comfortable with the game, and make clear and just keep on doing good stuff with the game. So I appreciate it. But yeah, next time we can do Overpower or whatever you want. So it's always a good time, man. I appreciate it.
oh yeah, good stuff, good stuff. All right, enjoy that dinner, and we'll be back.
Yep. All
Different
righty,
bed
man.
time, but same bed channel.
Yep.
All
All
right,
right. Good night, my friend.
night night.